Impacted! We are impacted! Impacted! We're ready to get up! We want to win! Light the fire of power that make us free! We never break down! We want to win! We are impacted! The best team!
Hello and welcome back to TNI-UK Impacted episode 126. Coming to you live via the Total Nonstop Impact Network on YouTube and of course Twitch. And if you listen on the go, then we are also available on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes and wherever you listen to your favourite shows. I am your host Bison and today I am joined by of course the man coming to us from the void, the Joker. Hi, Joe. You all right, mate?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yes, mate. I am fan-dabby dozy, as they say. I'm feeling a little bit better, although I am still bunged up. So I'm just warning everyone, I'm still a little bit bunged up. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice, but I'm doing the best I can. And I will get through today like a true pro I am. How's everything going with you, Joe?
That's been pretty good. I did manage to eventually catch Sacrifice on Monday after pretty busy weekend. So it was, and I must say it was a hell of a lot better than I was expecting. Really blew away. But the news on the news on everyone that's been injured and that knocked everything for a loop, and they managed to recover from it so brilliantly. And I think if it wasn't done in Canada, it would have been things would have been a hell of a lot tougher. So it was like it was like the bad news at the right place in the right place. Although it still sucked that Josh Alexander couldn't compete in Canada. That really does hurt.
I think, unfortunately, I think that really does suck, doesn't it? Because I think, I just can't imagine that. I mean, the actual reception that Josh would have got competing, obviously, in Canada, I think would be absolutely ginormous. It's just such a shame. It really is such a shame. I'm absolutely gutted, really, because I think he could have done amazing. It would have been amazing for him to compete in front of that crowd, where he would have just got. Could you imagine the walking weapon chance?
Yeah,
it would be insane. It would be insanely good. Right. Okay, so I don't know if we got many. Have we got many people joining us at the moment? I don't know. Leave us a comment. Let us know if you're there. And don't forget, guys, it's really important that you join in with us. Let us know your thoughts on any of the things that we're talking about today. It's important that you have your say because you are just as much part of the show as, of course, me and Joe are. So don't forget to do that. But also make sure if you're new to the channel and you like what you see so far, then consider smashing that subscribe button. And of course, giving us a thumbs up. If you're there now, do it. Just press that thumbs up button. It costs you nothing. Just press that thumbs up button and let everybody know that you're watching our show. And of course, the more people,
because I'm sick.
The further up the road, the further up everybody's feeds we go. So don't forget. So make sure you give us a thumbs up. Maybe share it around on all the socials. Let people know that we are here and that we are doing a fantastic job letting you guys know all about or talking about, Impact Wrestling every single week on a Wednesday live. And of course, you could join in too. So it's all, it's all there. We're here for you. But guys, here's the other thing. If you would like to show your appreciation with the odd super sticker, that would, of course, be very much appreciated as well. And, of course, helps us provide you with as much content each and every week as we possibly can. Can I just say a quick hello to Mir? Hello, my friend. He joins us every single week. Without fail, Mir is with us. So that's great to see you, buddy. Now, guys, Joe, let's get slap bang into the news and rumours Impact well, I was going to say the Impact recap of the week, but we're not really going to do that. We've just got a couple of things we want to talk about, just sort of kind of like mention. So obviously, Mickie James is out due to a wrist injury at the moment, and of course, Josh Alexander has to relinquish the world title after having tricep surgery. And the Rebellion main event will be now Steve Maclin versus Kushida for the vacant Impact World title. I mean, what are your thoughts on this, Joe?
Oh, I think it's a great decision. How they've with regards to the world title. You know, Steve Maclin was the number one contender, so if he wasn't to get his shot, then that would have been controversy, regardless. But Kushida being the guy to go for it, I think it's going to be a really interesting clash of styles. Like we saw a bit of it at Sacrifice, and that was a really intense match. So to see them go 1-on-1, and I can see Steve Mack and Kushida building this into a really, really heated rivalry really quickly too, because they're so good.
It's just a shame, isn't it? The Steve, we've sort of had that build for an entire year.
Yeah,
When you think about it, with regards to Steve Macklin building, we built it, and we built it all the way to the Rebellion, and then boom, it's done just like that. It's such
yeah,
a shame because I think Steve deserved it as well. You know, he deserved that big main event with Josh.
yeah. It's terrible. It's just one of those, but then that sadly is the nature of the business, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Can I
it's,
just say a quick hello to Bonkers? Bonkers has joined us. Hello, buddy.
yes. How you doing?
And we know we're going to talk about that in a bit, actually, funny enough.
Yeah,
But yeah, it is such a shame. Dobby's with us. Great to see you as well. And agree, see Dobby exactly not the way Macklin would have wanted
yeah,
it to finally, get crowd, but I'm sure, it's still going to be a great match. We know that it's still going to be a great match regardless. But it's just such a shame, absolutely such a shame. But dude, let's get cracking. Let's get slap bang into our sacrifice review because I don't think there's no other than kind of like the injury issue there and the change of the main event for Rebellion. There's not really anything else much to talk about really. So I think if we just get slap bang into this review, we've got a bit to talk about with regards to the rundown for Multiverse United as well, which is going on tomorrow night. So we've got quite a lot to talk about. To be fair, once we get through this review. Now, obviously, the whole night started off with a countdown to Sacrifice. We had Eddie Edwards versus Bhuphinder Gujjar. Now, I have to say, after a pretty good showing from Bhuphinder Gujjar, Eddie Edwards obviously hits the Boston Tea Party to gain the victory. But I think it was a really good opening match. What do you think on this one, Joe?
I was so impressed with Bhuphinder in this match. You know, I've always been impressed with him, and he's just again showing that he's getting better and better and better. This also being in a home crowd for him as well. He trained in Canada with Scott D'Amore, and he's been up to Canada back and forth while with Impact Wrestling, going to Destiny Wrestling and Greek Town Wrestling up in Canada. So he's really, really well known and made himself really well known up in Canada. He had everyone behind him for the majority of this match. Although Eddie Edwards did get a lot of pops from everyone too. It's like everyone was just like so happy to see everyone from Impact Wrestling back. There was no face and heel for the opening match, but I was really impressed, and the finish.
I think
really
Bhuphinder is huge in Canada, isn't he? He is big. He's big up on that independent scene up there. So, but he does a lot of wrestling for Border City, which is Scott D'Amore's promotion. So he does a lot of, he's done a lot of work up that way. So obviously, he's obviously very popular, which is good to see because it's nice when the local talents get the pop, isn't it? It really is. It
very
is
nice. Yeah.
So good to see John's in the house. Who obviously Dobby's turned up as well, which is good. So good to see we've got a few people in. So don't forget to leave your thoughts, guys, about anything that we talk about. It's important. It helps us, get through the show. We love to hear what you guys think about things as well. So it's all good. So we then go backstage and we've got Gia Miller interviewing Rich Swann and Frankie Kazarian. Who now must team with, of course, Steve Maclin in tonight's main event versus Time Machine. So yeah, that was an interesting backstage segment as well. But it was kind of just basically setting the scene where we were going to go later on in the night, which I really liked. And of course, at the end of the day, if you were watching the countdown, it gave you an idea of what you had to come if you were to then buy into Sacrifice, if you hadn't already. So that was good. Then we had the Knockouts World Tag Team Champion, KiLynn King with Taylor Wilde, of course. The witches, the coven, versus Rosemary with Jessicka in her corner. Of course, no Taya anymore because he's now gone. But basically, King crashes and burns on the top rope, sent on attempt. Rosemary heads to the top and connects with a crossbody, which I do like it when Rosemary does a crossbody. Two at ringside, Jessicka lays out Taylor Wilde, which was quite interesting. After she provides a distraction, Rosemary then spears King to score the big victory. Now, quite frankly, I thought this was a really good match. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, that was a very brief take on the match, but I thought it was a really good match. I really enjoyed it. And either way, I think KiLynn King is a hell of an addition to the Impact roster, to the Impact Knockouts roster. And I think the whole thing with Taylor Wilde, I think is working well. I still believe there's a third member of the coven. Because, as we all know, to make a coven, you need 3. So there is definitely another one to come. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I still think it's Steph DeLander, but we'll have to wait and see who makes up the third. But what were your thoughts on it? I mean, I know you're a big Rosemary fan, so it's nice to see Rosemary get the win.
Yeah.
But what were your thoughts? What were your thoughts on the match and KiLynn King?
KiLynn King, she impressed me when I saw her against Deonna Purrazo and Jordan Grace. She took the 2 losses then, but even then, so she when she debuted in Impact Wrestling, she was really impressive, and I could see that this was someone that was going to come back if given the opportunity to. And I'm so glad she did, because she's gelled with Taylor Wilde so quickly, and their tag team match against Tyra and Rosemary was really, really good as well. So we already can see that she's someone that can work with anyone of any size, because Tyra Valkyrie's huge and Rosemary's more about her level. And but Rosemary was really solid in this match too, and the crowd was really behind their hometown demon as well as was I, and I'm pretty sure the majority of everyone out there in the Hive or in the Void were as well, cheering on our Hive Queen. But it was a really good match, really good stuff from both of them. It was another it's an opening match you just couldn't put anywhere else, and that was just brilliant.
Yep,
basically.
I agree. It was a good match. It was definitely a good match. Enjoyed it. We got the storytelling. It was all in there. I thought it was a good match. We then obviously get Sacrifice begins. We kick off Sacrifice with Mike Bailey versus Jonathan Gresham.
I thought we were friends.
Honest, I don't. We are, Mike. We are. I cannot think of a better way to kick off Sacrifice than these two going at it. I think we all knew that this was a 50-50 booking situation. I think we all knew Mike was going to win this one. However, it still didn't disappoint. This was a really good match. I really enjoyed it. So here we go. It's a stalemate in the early going as both men match each other's offense move for move. Gresham puts his submission game on display, tying up Bailey. This only fires it up as Bailey delivers a flurry of kicks. We do love that one, don't we? Where he sort of does the
that's insane.
kick. I love it. I do like that one.
It's insane.
Then he hits the springboard moonsault to the outside. Back in the ring, Gresham regains control and hits a running clothesline for 2. Bailey comes back with a running shooting star for a near fall of his own. Gresham locks in. I forgot where I've got to though. Locks in a figure 4 leg lock. Bailey fights through and at a reverse to the pressure, rolling all the way to the bottom rope. Bailey drives him face first into the steel ring post, followed by a moonsault. Followed by his moonsault knees. What did he calls that something? Does it? I forgot. Is it the ultimate weapon thing?
Ultimate weapons off the turnbuckle. Yeah.
Okay. Both men barely make it into the ring before the referees count to 10. The action continues as Bailey locks in a reverse figure 4, forcing him
so
to
incredible.
tap out.
That was brilliant.
I thought this match was absolutely stellar. I think if you're a wrestling fan, a pro wrestling fan, and you didn't enjoy this match, you must be absolutely insane. And Mia, I think you're right. I think Gresham was acting a little bit heely in this match, to be fair. I think he was. But I have a feeling that moving forward, we will get Bailey Gresham for a third time at some point. But I have a feeling that these two are going to be tagging together for a little while.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Joe?
I think well, Gresham's character is that he's the underdog, so he's always got a chip on his shoulder when he's got the advantage over somebody. Someone's arrived, so Sammy's excited. Just bear with the dog. And so, but I mentioned it last week that I can see that Mike Bailey and Jonathan Gresham start this match off all friendly chum like they were backstage, and Gresham's like poking the bear, trying to. And as Gresham's getting the advantage, he's getting more and more cocky and getting more and more like I'm above you, basically. And I can see this. We're going to get round 3 probably at Rebellion, and hopefully that's going to be like a last man standing match or a submission match or a 2 out of 3 falls.
And you could get like an Iron Man match out of them.
Yeah, or even a 30-minute Iron Man match would be fucking brilliant. And we're going to see like Bailey and Gresham explode, let their characters peak. Then is Gresham going to push Bailey to the zone that Kenny King wanted into, or is Mike Bailey going to bring up the true nasty side of Jonathan Gresham? And the match was they were so they went move for move. They're so faultless against each other. It's just insane. If you can't even appreciate what these two can do, then you're not watching the right bloody thing. You just piss off and watch something else.
Yeah, I totally agree.
This match was just insane. It was like it was one of the best opening matches I've seen for a very long time.
It was insane. It was such a good match. I loved it. Can you just bring up Bonker's point there? He's talking about Steph DeLander.
Yes.
So she has been on Dark. She's been on Dark a couple of times. She's still not signed anywhere, though, as far as we're aware. It's not a bad thing, her appearing on AEW, because it means that she gets more eyes. So even when she does get signed, if she does get signed to Impact, then there's a potential if people like the look of her that they'll watch Impact Wrestling. So it doesn't bother me if she turns up on AEW Dark or anything like that.
KiLynn Kim went to AEW Dark as well for a couple of times after Impact Wrestling. And
I just feel it's a very similar situation.
Yeah, it's testing the water in every company. She's Steph DeLander's just come back from Australia as well, so she was down there for. After Impact Wrestling, and then she went to AEW.
That's
right. So she's testing the water basically, and
she's sort of testing the water. I think she's doing her thing. Yeah. Now, Joe, backstage at Sacrifice, after admitting that he's going to help Brian Myers become the new digital media champion tonight, obviously, Moose is banned from ringside by Director of Authority Santino Marella, and I think that was a great move because it meant that we obviously didn't get any shenanigans during the title match, which was obviously coming up next. I mean, Barry's saying that the Gresham and Bailey match was too long. Could have done with being 5 minutes long on BTI. I'm not sure I agree with that. I thought it was a great match. DMC title match: Joe Hendry versus Brian Myers. It was awesome.
Always be Edge's bitch.
I think the main thing about this one was that it was actually really awesome to see the support that Joe had in Windsor, especially when he was entering the ring and there was everybody on ringside doing all of this, and everyone shouting "We believe" and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was fantastic. It does.
I believe in Joe Hendry,
and it does show how over Joe is. That's for sure. It definitely shows that. But anyway, here's what went down. So the fight spills to the outside in the early going. Myers trips him up and gains control. Myers hits the sit-down slam for 2. Hendry catches him in midair and begins to turn the tide with a power slam. He's actually really, really good at those power slams. Hendry hits a cutter off the ropes for 2. Myers plants him with a DDT. Moments later, Myers almost puts him away with a spear. Hendry catches in midair with the cutter, followed by the standing ovation to win the match. Hendry retains the digital media title. I loved his response after the match. I don't know if anybody saw that on social media. He's like, right, you're done and done. I'm taking this to the next level type attitude. And I really, really liked it. We're both big fans of Joe. We love seeing Joe's work. We love seeing him doing really, really well. But this is a good match, right? It was a good match, Joe, wasn't it?
It was a good solid match, and it just shows that the digital media title is now getting the recognition that Brian Myers helped bring to it. You know, Brian Myers helped really make this thing stand out a lot more rather than just be a gimmick. And Joe Hendry's taking Joe Hendry said, he's taking it to the next level now. And you know, we've had Brian. I think Brian Myers is going to be after this again. We might see him and Joe Hendry again down the road, but probably not straight away. But the match was so good. The match was really. I loved Joe Hendry's pre-match promo where he took a jab at Harry and Meghan. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that as well.
Royalty comes to Canada, and I said to Harry, "I've got this."
Exactly. Yeah. The funny thing is on that though, is I'm not sure like how the crowd took it. Like, you seem to think they liked it, but I thought it fell on a little bit on deaf ears, to be honest.
Yeah, I think they're just sort of like, is that okay to do this more than anything else? Me, I just pissed myself laughing.
Yeah, so did I. I thought it was.
Well, you got the message I sent you. You got the message I sent you when I saw it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it was brilliant. I thought, it was good. And the match was great as well. So you had 2 fantastic wrestlers going out. I thought it was brilliant. But we then went backstage and in a sit-down interview with Gia Miller and Santino Marella, Mickie James reveals that she's a broken rib. I thought it was wrist to me. It was broken rib that will keep her out of action tonight and at Multiverse United next Thursday in Los Angeles. The winner of the 4-way knockouts match between Deonna Purrazo, Gisele Shaw, Masha Slamovich, and Miyu Yamashita. I don't know where I just say that. Yamashita? I don't know. Will face Jordynne Grace at Rebellion for the Knockouts World title. If James is cleared to compete, that match will become a triple threat. If not, the winner of that match will become the next knockout champion, world champion. What were your thoughts on this, Joe? I think this is a great way of doing it, because at the end of the day, if your champion is unable to compete, then you need to do something, isn't it?
Yeah. The best thing is that it's a short-term injury, so that's like, anything about matches aside and all that. It's just good to know that Mickie James might be able to compete at Rebellion.
Yeah.
Even
if what I'm saying is none of this is like none of this interim champion bullshit.
Oh yeah,
like, they just relinquish the titles. Yeah, somebody else can be champion. When they're better, I'm sure they'll get a title shot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Fucking interim bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on. Sorry, Joe. Carry on.
Yeah. Like I was saying, Impact Wrestling have got a plan of action. If someone's injured and they can't, then they'll vacate it. Or if someone's not pulling their weight, they'll vacate it, like they did with Tessa Blanchard. So yeah, and it's good that Mickie James could be able to compete, but if this goes down to 1-on-1, I really do. I want to see Deonna Purrazo and Jordynne Grace, because either way we're going to get that way. We'll get a 3-time knockouts champion from either one, and both of them deserve it. Although it would be good to see.
Hardcore country.
Da Yeah, it'd be good to see it as a triple threat. It would, because I mean,
Yeah,
like I
'cause we
said,
all like
Mia
a triple
knows
threat.
I do love a three-way, don't I, Mia? I do love a
Oh, yeah,
three-way.
we all love a 3-way.
It's good to see Anna in the house. Hello, sweetheart. Nice to see you.
Hello.
Anyway, there you go. So, okay, so then that flowed into the fact that we've got the Deonna Purrazo versus Gisele Shaw. Of course, Gisele Shaw's got Jay, Vidal, and Savannah Evans in her corner, but that didn't make any difference. So we get them both come out to the ring. I thought Deonna Purrazo looked fantastic in that robe, and the crowd was well behind her, which was good to see. So Shaw distracts the referee, as we would expect, allowing Vidal to strike Purrazo from the outside. Moments later, Purrazo hits a running boot, followed by a Russian leg sweep to build momentum. Shaw hits a super kick, but Purrazo comes right back with is it Koji clutch? Something like that, Koji clutch. Both knockouts exchange strikes in the middle of the ring, with Shaw gaining the upper hand. Off shock and awe, Purrazo locks in the Venus de Milo to win by submission. Now, I thought that this was a fantastic match. I really, really enjoyed this match.
I
I'm
am
a massive fan
the
of
greatest.
there is no fucking doubt that is the case. But I'm a massive fan of Deonna anyway, and I think she's an incredible wrestler. And I'm hoping that we get to see a third, three times Deonna Purrazo
We want a
champ
very
soon. We do. We need. Yeah, she needs to be champ without doubt. But of course, what did we expect after the match? We get Savannah Evans blindsides Deonna, but Tasha Steelz returns. Returns to make the save. The jaw-dropping moment continued as Steelz takes out her former Savannah Evans, and of course Jay Vidal. I thought this was a really cool way to bring Tasha back, and I, for one, am extremely happy to see her back. What about yourself?
I was really, really surprised when Tasha Steelz came back. I mean, we were talking when we finished the podcast on Wednesday. I was sat the rest of the week. I was thinking, when are we going to see Tasha Steelz again? You know what's actually happening with her now, and all that sort of stuff. And then she comes, because she even was like quiet on the internet. And then Deonna Purrazo had a match with Tasha Steelz on Thursday. And I'm not sure where it was, but it was on on an indie promotion somewhere. Then that again got me thinking, is Tasha Steelz going to come back? Because it didn't say she was representing Impact Wrestling. And then she comes back
Right.
she comes back on Friday in Canada, and oh my god, that was so satisfying, and I was just I was cheering like bloody crazy when I saw it.
It was amazing.
Just from seeing the replays on Twitter, I was like, oh my god, yes. And when I managed to watch it on Monday, it still felt like I just seen it for the first time. It was just so good to see Tasha Steelz back down the ramp.
And of course, it's nice to see Bonus Baby wake up in the chat there when we mentioned a three-way.
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. And of course, I understand what you're saying, Barry. But you know what? This is when the roster does its work. People will come forward and they will prove that it's not all about two. It's not about two champions. It's about the entire roster. So, and let's face it, they didn't compete at Sacrifice, neither of them, and it was an incredible pay-per-view. So, there's no worries there. There's always somebody to take your place. So we then move on, and we've got Kenny King versus PCO. Now, this is where I want to talk about a little bit of PCO in this one. Because, frankly, the dude is not human. And I know that is his thing. PCO is not human and all the rest of it. But, my God, this dude is 100% not human. So let's just have a little chat about this. So we got King jumps PCO while he's still making his entrance. Moments later, Edwards provides a distraction at ringside, allowing King to connect with a corkscrew drive to the floor, which is pretty impressive. PCO turns the tide as he drives King throat first to the outside. PCO is short circuited. This bit was weird. PCO is short circuited as he throws himself to the exposed floor, which is kind of weird. PCO
Yeah, I was thinking, what the
refocuses,
hell was that
successfully
about?
hits the dive. Well, he was short circuiting, wasn't he? Because he's not
Yeah.
human, remember? Right. Okay. So PCO connects with the lung blower out of the corner. King pulls PCO off the top rope as he crushes spine first into the hardest part of the ring. King exposes the floor underneath the protective mats and hits the power bomb. Somehow
That was
PCO makes it
painful
back
to watch.
in. Oh my god! PCO makes it back into the ring. And King can't keep him down. Edwards tosses a kendo stick into the ring. King capitalizes off the distraction with a steel chair shot to the back of to the back. PCO punches through the chair, like, oh my god, to score the pinfall victory. Now, I just don't know what to say when it comes to Perfect Creation 1. The dude is in his 50s. He takes bumps at some that most people can't take in their 20s, and he still keeps coming forward. He's like the cliche of Rocky, isn't it? It's about how many bumps you can take but keep moving forward, and that is exactly what PCO does. He just takes the bumps and he keeps moving forward. Incredible. This match for me was absolutely insane, and it also proved how good Kenny King is. I thought Kenny King was fantastic in this match, just as much as PCO. But PCO took some serious punishment. The malfunctioning stuff was funny. I thought that was, that sort of kind of like forwarded the whole PCO not being human thing. I think that worked well. I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts on PCO, Joe? Come on. Let me have it.
He is one of the most underrated wrestlers out there. He is, the endurance this guy has is insane. Like you said, and if you look back at the matches he had against Jonah and the matches he had against Doc Gallows, the amount of punishment he took in them, and then carry on as if nothing had happened. Basically,
It's just insane. I mean, who throws themselves over the fucking top rope to land on the floor? Like, who does that? That's mental.
He's just such. I'm so glad he's come back to Impact Wrestling and he's with us at least until the end of the year. This extra year with PCO is going to be something really special, and he's making sure that everyone knows it now. Because we don't know what happens in 2024 with PCO.
He is insane.
But
he is insane.
The stuff he's doing with Eddie Edwards and Kenny King is brilliant. It's working well for Eddie Edwards. It's working well for Kenny King. And it's the only thing missing from it is Vincent. Is the only thing that I think is missing. It would be great to see Vincent come back and either try and be peacemaker to one side or the other, or just get his ass kicked.
See, I've thought about this a few times actually, because obviously Vincent was rumored to be turning up at up north, but that clearly hasn't happened with his partner for what they called what they called?
I have no idea.
What's his tag team called? I forgot now. They were in Ring of Honor. Somebody in the chat tell us. Somebody in the chat says, "Hey, Cockmeister, nice to see you, my friend." Anyway, him and his partner would make fantastic additions to the Impact roster. And if you were to align him,
the Righteous, there you go. Critical Sting got us.
The Righteous, that's it. The Righteous. If you were to line those two, yeah, definitely. If you were to line those two. I think that with PCO, that would be like an unstoppable faction. They would be incredible. Oh dear, look, the Cockmeister. Cold finally gone, Bison? Question mark. If not, we've had Prime Minister reign shorter than that damn thing. Yeah, I know, mate. I'm so sorry. It just ain't going.
Well,
it's not going. I've spent
think of it this way.
I've been sipping it. I've been sipping it and everything. It's just not going. It's not going anywhere.
We might have had one of these short of 7 minutes recently, but it was still longer than Trent's marriage.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, my
Sorry,
cold is definitely
sorry, not
lasted longer than
sorry.
Kurt's Mary. Yeah. But the fact still remains, PCO is 100% not human. He is insane. And, the guy is amazing. I'm a massive fan. Delirious working with PCO would be cool. Yeah, definitely.
That would be awesome.
Now,
I think that would be really good.
what we got next was an on-screen promo, basically letting us know that Jodie Threat is coming soon to Impact Wrestling. The rumor is, and I've seen it in a few places, she is actually signed. So this is fantastic. I think this is absolutely fantastic, and I'm all for this. Jodie is amazing. If you've not seen any of her stuff, then you need to go and check it out. Do a search. There's loads of stuff on YouTube. Jodie Threat is amazing, and she is one hell of an acquisition. That's all I've got to say. She is one hell of an acquisition, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we get from her, especially with now we've got some really cool additions coming in recently. I mean, just imagine if we do get Steph Delander as well. Jodie Threat, Steph Delander. Do you know what? I'd like to see Ali Catch sign with Impact Wrestling.
Oh,
as well.
if she could come in too, that would be brilliant. But I can see Jodie Threat and Killer Kelly are going to do a lot with each other, I think.
Yeah,
because Killer Kelly was talking about going up in the game as well when she did that promo before Taylor Wilde came out and interrupted her. And so, but someone like Jodie Threat, they've given her an introduction. That video package is similar to like when Killer Kelly was given the video package. It was just be prepared for something really special. And Jodie Threat is really amazing.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. I mean, Anna's, really happy that we have Jodie Threat come to Impact as well.
It was so unexpected too. It was so unexpected.
Absolutely. But here we go. Look, Bonus Baby said he didn't recognize the name, but then found out she was the one that had the work shoot dust up with Athena and AEW Dark Elevation a little bit back. Yeah, exactly. She is a hell of a talent, mate. She is a hell of a talent. I'm very excited to see her in the Impact Zone. We then go backstage and we've got Steve Maclin vowing to get the job done tonight as he teams with Rich Swann and Frankie Kazarian. So again, we're building to the main event, which is great the way that they did that. So that was all good. We then get the X Division Championship, which is Trey Miguel versus Lince Dorado. Now, I didn't really know too much about Lince Dorado. I knew that he was part of the MLW roster, but I've not really seen many of his matches. So I don't know if he's still with MLW or, whether he just come over for a one-off or we're going to get to see more of him. I don't know. But this is how the match ran down. So you got Dorado launched himself off the top rope, connecting with a twister splash to the outside. Back in the ring, Dorado soars once again, this time with a top rope crossbody. Miguel hits an Enziguri to create separation and regain his composure. Dorado picks him off the rope, then connects with a lucha lit. A wise Miguel rolls to the outside on impact, preventing him from making the pin. Miguel hits a modified sunset flip powerbomb, a really cool one, but it's not enough to keep Dorado down. Miguel traps him in a pinning predicament to retain the X Division title. Now, on a side note, Lince Dorado is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And this is a guy I want to see more. So if there is an opportunity to sign this guy right now, or at least get him on a little bit more, I'm all for it because I think he was fantastic. This was a great match. What are your thoughts on this match, Joe?
He was insane. Yeah, I thought Laredo Kid was amazing against Trey Miguel, but this was above what Laredo Kid and Trey Miguel could do together, and I didn't think that was possible. Mike Bailey and Trey Miguel matched it with different styles, but this was just insane. I knew he made an appearance in TNA. That was only when I got, but I've never actually seen the match myself. But so to know he was someone that's had a bit of history with Impact Wrestling, that alone was a huge bump for him. But my God, some of the height he could get with that twisting splash he did outside the ring, that was insane. The height that some of these guys from Mexico can get is unbelievable.
It's interesting to see that he's currently he's currently the middleweight champion on MLW. But like I say, I mean, they've had a load of time. We don't know if that's still the case.
Yeah,
but he's currently their champion. But it's interesting that obviously that he was a hand-picked opponent with regards to Santino Morales. So it does show that maybe they are certainly taking a look at him.
Yeah,
as a potential signing. I just think he's great.
I thought it was a brilliant choice by Santino.
If they've got an opportunity to bring this guy in, then they need to be taking it. But I think he was good. He had a great reception as well. The crowd clearly knew who he was. The crowd clearly knew who he was. So that's a good sign for a start. But yeah, no, really, really good match. Really enjoyed it. Trey Miguel was awesome as always. I don't think I've ever seen a bad Trey Miguel match. Have you?
No, I've not. No, there's not been one that's even been from Trey Miguel. Even when he was with the Rascals, there was never a bad match from them. He's one of these guys. He's one of these guys that he always delivers. You know, Sammy Callahan said Trey Miguel is someone that will never disappoint you guys if you watch him, and he's right.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. So, Lince Dorado was in WWE in Lucha House part team. So, okay, that's interesting. Would be a great division signing. Type of wrestler that would shine in at Ultimate X. Yeah, of course he would. Yeah, definitely. And again, Santino Morales definitely got connections in the business, which is great. And the more people that we've got coming in that want to help, Impact shine and move forward is fantastic. So I know that he was recently in Ireland with OTT, which is good to see. Maybe there's some connections being built there. Again, a massive promotion in Ireland, OTT. So it's good to see. I mean, they put several thousand people in arenas. So that is good. That's good news. We then go backstage and we got Shane Haste and Bad Dude Tito of TMDK declare victory in their Impact World Tag Team title shot with, of course, versus the Bullet Club tonight of Ace and Bay. I have to say, Big Dude Tito is a big dude. And I liked him. I thought in the ring he was fantastic, but I really, really liked him. He's the sort of guy, again, I'd like to certainly see a lot more of. So we then get, like I say, the Impact World title match. Bullet Club Ace and Bay versus TMDK, Shane Haste and Big Dude Tito. So here we go. Haste is in the driver's seat as he begins to wear Ace down. Ace and Bay use stereo high-flying offense to build momentum. Tito hits Ace with a standing blue thunder bomb to regain control. TMDK slow the pace down as they cut off the ring and prevent Ace from making a tag. Ace finally makes a tag to Bay, who soars over the top rope, colliding with Tito on the floor. Back in the ring, Bay connects with the springboard finesse on Haste. Haste hits Bay with the Sato suplex before Tito connects. It's really hard to say, so Sato suplex before Tito connects with a thunderous powerbomb on Ace Austin. Tito drives through the ropes, taking out Bay on the outside. Tito has Ace beat with the top rope splash, but Ace breaks up the pin attempt. Ace and Bay put Tito away with the Art of Finesse into the fold. I really like that Art of Finesse into the fold. I think it's really good.
The ultimate finesser, your girl's favorite wrestler, Chris Bay. I beat Chris Sabin.
He did. He beat Chris Sabin a couple of times, actually. Now, the thing is here is that for me, this was actually, I have to say, one of the most enjoyable matches of the night. I really enjoyed this match. I'm a huge fan of Ace and Bay. I think they're an incredible tag team, and long may they reign as tag team champions as far as I'm concerned. However, I have to say, Haste and Tito were great. They, again, a match is only as good as its wrestlers in the ring. So you can have the best tag team in the world, but if they're against a shitty tag team, you're going to get a shitty match. You have to have two good teams to really create a good match, and I think this was a really good match. I really enjoyed it. One of my favorite matches of the night. What was your thoughts, Joe?
It's been a bangorama.
How did I know that was coming? Now, what do you think of the match?
The match was off the charts. It was one of the best matches of the night. I think for me, it was the best match of the night. Ace and Bay once again showing just how bloody good they are as a team, and people are still doubting how good they are and putting down how good this. Because the Bullet Club is not Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes anymore. It's now like it was Jay White and the Good Brothers and Bay and Austin. Now it's
I think it's funny. They're calling it is it Bullet Club Light or something?
Yeah, and all the fans of the original, but basically the original Bullet Club are playing this down too. I saw a lot of bitching about Ace Austin and Chris Bay online. I thought to myself, you guys are really not paying attention to just how fucking good these guys are. And TMDK were really incredible too. I knew that Jonah was one of the big guys in this stable too. So and then being a faction based in Australia, so it's like they're the Australian version of the Bullet Club. So I think we're going to see a lot more of TMDK versus the Bullet Club over in New Japan Pro Wrestling and Impact Wrestling. And maybe if Ace and Bay eventually go to Australia, then we'll get something between them there as well, which would be really interesting. But it's building bridges between the US and Australia now for wrestling, and that's really, really good for Impact Wrestling, and it's something that hasn't been done yet, I don't think, by any other company. It's although we've got people, we've had like Tennille Dashwood come over, and then she's gone to WWE, but they've cut her off basically. They're not. she's now nowhere again.
Yeah, exactly.
But
it's funny enough. We were talking about somebody was talking about this the other day on Twitter, where they were like, "Where are these guys now?" Well, they're nowhere because they suck. At pushing talent, they're just no good. They have no idea. I don't get it. They seem to have no idea how to put new talent or people, these guys over to their fan base. I don't get it. Because they go anywhere else and they get over. Yeah. But they go to WWE and they don't. And it can only be the writers. It can only be the fucking creative teams that are causing the problem. Sorry, go on, Joe.
You pretty much summed up what I was going to say. Really, I was going to say I did see the same thing about what's happened to Mia Yim, what's happened to Tennille Dashwood. The only one he's getting any spotlight at the moment is Chelsea Green, and that's only because after WrestleMania, I don't think we're going to see much of her, or she's going to very, very quickly fade into the background, which is a shame. But totally TMDK. They're in the match with Ace and Bay at on this Thursday too. They're not going to have let this recent loss slide. They're going to be really at Ace and Bay in this match on Thursday, and I'm looking forward to see what happens then. But I could watch it. I'm going to watch this match again because it was so good.
Yeah, definitely. Right, Joe. We then get what is got to be I don't know. I'm not going to say it was rubbish because it wasn't rubbish, but we then get the busted open match. You could be right. Okay, so I'm not a huge fan of this storyline, the way it's going. But anyway, let's go with it. So the first person to make their opponent bleed will be declared the winner on this match, basically. So Bully Ray blindsides Dreamer with a chair to kick things off. Dreamer quickly turns the tide as he smashes Bully into the steel ring steps. Both men swing at each other with the steel chairs, with Dreamer gaining the upper hand. Dreamer bashes a replica title. It's an ECW title, a replica ECW title. Let me get it right. Let me get it. Replica. Yeah, it was ECW, wasn't it? Into Bully Ray. Former Detroit Red Ring Darren McCarty. Now, I got no idea who this dude is, but anyway, he's at ringside. Bobby Ray, Bobby Ray throws a beer in his face. So, like, I'm there thinking, well, who the fuck is this guy? But anyway, so they're he's obviously Bully Ray is provoking this guy for obvious reasons. Security holds back McCarty as Bully refocuses on Dreamer. Bully launches himself off the step ladder, but Dreamer avoids the incoming assault. Dreamer introduces thumbtacks, what a surprise, into the match as it spills as he spills them across the mat. Dreamer inadvertently takes out the referee with a splash in the corner, then drives a cheese grater, can't be a good cheese grater in a match like this, into Bobby Ray's skull. Bobby is busted open, but the good hands hit the ring and give him a towel to wipe away the blood. Weird. You could certainly tell that he cut himself at that moment. Dreamer takes out Jason Hotch and John Skyler, but Bully Ray makes him pay by throwing thumbtacks into his eyes. Momentum. Moments later, Bully pleads with Dreamer not to use the cheese grater. Dreamer hesitates, allowing Bully to deliver a low blow, which you always expect for Bully. That was his
In the scrotissimus region?
Exactly, in the scrotissimus region. Anyway, Bully sends him into the steel ring post and Dreamer is busted open. Bully hides the evidence of his own blood by placing a towel over his head. The referee sees Dreamer bleeding and calls for the bell. Right, before we go into after the match shenanigans, what were your thoughts on this in the end?
If I'd known what was to come afterwards, I'd say this match was put way too late onto the card.
I agree.
It should have been down where Joe Hendry versus Brian Myers was, and then have Joe Hendry versus Brian Myers follow them.
Yeah.
But it was I knew it was booked late for a reason. So and honestly, because it was so late on the card, and I was so tired on Monday, I fell asleep during some of this match, so I didn't really get to see most of it, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. But so it is one I'm going to have to watch again. But because from what I gathered, it was a lot more entertaining than people were giving it credit for, and it definitely seemed a lot more interesting. But
I'm not going to say it wasn't enjoyable. I mean, it was a fun match, and it was clearly over with the crowd. Okay, but I still don't believe it's what people want to see. I think they enjoyed it because it was a fun match.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't know. We want to see it. And I certainly don't want to see it continued, especially leading into Rebellion. But there you go.
Well, but bad news that we are going to get Dreamer and Bully Ray at Rebellion.
Yeah.
And already people are pretty pissed off about that. So hopefully this will be the end of the whole fucking thing by then.
Yeah.
Just so the fans can have something to not bitch about.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, I agree, totally.
If anything, if matches like this are going to happen, I want the fans to enjoy them. I don't want fans to be angry or annoyed because this match is happening. You know, it's an idea that's been done over and over again for a long time. You know, we could have had this with Dreamer and Raven. We've had it with Dreamer and Eddie Edwards and Dreamer and Rhino, and you know, it's in. Everyone expected Bully Ray to be doing something else when he decided to stay on, and at the moment, it's not happened.
I just hope that we get this done, and either Bully's gone or we get something a little bit more meaningful, because I think Bully could do some really good stuff.
I think we're gonna get Bully versus Steve Maclin eventually. Like we had anticipated that. We had anticipated that for a Hard to Kill. I think after this whole thing with Dreamer is done and dusted, Bully Ray will go for Steve Maclin, because Maclin was most likely going to beat Josh Alexander at Rebellion. So we'll get Bully Ray versus Maclin, and then Bully Ray will part ways with the company then, and that'll be around about Slammiversary, which is in July.
I'm just like, they missed an opportunity to make Maclin look really good by not putting it against Bully. That's my thought process on it. They could have really sold Maclin by Maclin, like, taking it to Bully Ray. That would have been awesome. But I don't know. We'll see. And they had an opportunity to do it because obviously Bully, it was him and Steve Maclin were last in that that gauntlet match. So there's no reason why they couldn't have done it, because there is your point. But that was funny, yes. Now, after the match, the Good Hands continued the assault on Dreamer. Yuya Uemura attempts to make the save, but the number of game catches up on him also. Darren McCarthy jumps the guardrails. This guy I don't know. But he tells the security to let him go because they were holding him back. And a hockey fight breaks out until Hotch and Skyler jump him from behind. McCarthy gets put through a table when Impact President Scott D'Amore makes his return, which was cool. And I like the way that, he's the president now, isn't he?
Impact Wrestling!
Okay, boss. D'Amore calls for backup as Heath, Rhino, Jonathan Gresham, Joe Hendry, Mike Bailey hit the ring with him. Mike Bailey coming out with no shoes on to a ring full of thumbtacks and all sorts of shit like that was a bit silly, but there you go. Anyway, they all hit the ring. D'Amore spikes Hotch with a Canadian destroyer as Bully looks on in shock. Now, I never saw that coming. I don't think I've ever seen Scott D'Amore do a Canadian destroyer. So, that was a pretty cool moment. I think
that was so amazing. I made it into a GIF after I saw it. I made it into a GIF because I was just blown away when I woke up from Saturday to see that Scott D'Amore returned to Impact Wrestling. I was like, oh my god, what the hell? And then I saw the Canadian destroyer. My jaw just dropped. I thought, oh my fucking god! And Scott, you still got it. Scott still got it. That was just insane. That was so good.
That's the thing as well. And like Bonus Baby said, Hotch with the sell of the year as well, because he really sold it. He really sold it, which was brilliant. Hey, Courtney, nice to see you. Which I think was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like you say, I don't know too much about the hockey scene. So, the fact that whoever this dude was, he did his bit, which is amazing. And obviously the Canadian fans knew who he was. So that's all good.
Tom Hannaford's reaction too is he's like, oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. A big, huge shout out to PT Williams and Team Canada.
Exactly.
It was brilliant. It was one of those moments that it's going to go down in history as one of the biggest parts.
It's going to be replayed a lot.
Yeah,
that is going to be replayed an awful lot. I like I say, it was a great moment for me. It was sort of kind of like basically made the show. Really, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It's great to see Scott back, and back in explosive fashion as well, which is good. So it was really good. We then get an on-screen promo, and that's Impact Wrestling returns to Windsor on Saturday, July the 15th for the summer pay-per-view extravaganza Slammiversary. As far as I'm aware, they are moving into the they're moving into the slightly bigger venue there, which I believe holds about 2,500. So that's really cool. As far as I'm aware, that venue they were in was like between 1,000 and 1,500 people, and it was sold out. So that's really great news. My only concern here is that Rebellion is already in Canada, and now they're going to put Slammiversary in Canada as well. So they get 2 pay-per-views this year. Not this a bad thing, but you're going to get 2 pay-per-views in the US, 2 pay-per-views in the middle in Canada. I don't know. I think it's cool. It's going to be in the St. Clair Sportsplex, which is the slightly bigger venue. I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be really good. But there you go. what's this? Nobody knows about hockey, Bison. It's like soccer. The only thing people know is that hockey and soccer seems to go all year round, all year long. That's true. That is true.
But at least
but
the
there you
hockey
go. So-
players, if the hockey players take a bump, they don't die from the floor clutching and they cry like a bunch of babies. They get up and punch you
No,
back in
exactly.
the face.
Well, interestingly enough, I was asking the question about different things about who can hold this, who can. Drumboy came back to me, who is the the promoter for Border City, and he's also does a promotion for Impact in Canada, which is great. And he let me know that you're talking to 2,500 people in that venue, and he is absolutely determined to sell it out. And from what I can gather, they've sold quite a few already.
I've no doubt it's going to sell out. Every big event so far has sold out, and even the fallout from Sacrifice that sold out on literally like the Thursday night. It sold out, but right before the whole events. So it's brilliant to know that Impact Wrestling is just everything is selling out on these big events.
It doesn't seem to matter where they go now; they're selling the venues out, and that's good.
Yeah. It's just great to see. It
is good to see. I mean, the venues might not be huge, but they're selling them out, and that's all that matters. There could be 500 seats, or there could be 2,000 seats, or 2,500, 3,000 seats, whatever. They're selling them out, and that's the thing. As long as they're selling out, that's all that matters. We then go into the 6-man tag match, which is Maclin, Swann, and Kazarian versus Time Machine, Motor City Machine Guns, obviously, and Kushida. Again, this is a pretty tidy match, and this is how it went down. So Maclin throws Shelley throat first into the top rope. Swann retains control for his team as he hits Shelley with his signature kickback. Shelley fights out of his opponent's corner, then locks in the Boston Crab on Swann. Kushida and Sabin join the fight with a triple team assault, while Maclin inadvertently distracts the referee. Kushida hits a baseball slide dropkick, driving him into the steel guardrail. Swann is trapped in the Tree of Woe. We'll have a good Tree of Woe, don't we? As Time Machine delivers a triple dropkick in the corner. That was pretty cool. Unfortunately, Kushida definitely did not make contact. I'm just saying. To chop the steel ring post. Swann makes a tag to Kazarian, who quickens the pace with a flurry of offense. Kazarian hits Kushida with a backstabber, followed by springboard leg drop from each of his opponents. Shelley connects with a dropkick, assisted flatliner to Maclin, but it's not enough to keep him down. Of course it's not. It's Steve Maclin, number one contender. Kushida targets the left arm of Maclin, who attempts to lock in the hoverboard lock. Maclin has his caught in the crosshairs as he drives his shoulder into the solar plexus of Kushida. Kazarian and Swann hit cutters on Kushida. Swann soars with the 450 splash, but Kushida kicks out just in time. Moments later, Shelley takes out Swann with a sliced bread. Shelley hits Maclin with shell shock. Kushida locks in the hoverboard lock, and Maclin taps out quickly. Time Machine celebrates their victory as Kazarian and Maclin are seen arguing on the side. Sacrifice goes off air. Okay. Now, I saw lots of people like, way to make your number one contender look weak and all this kind of stuff. Tap out quick and all that shit. Let's face the facts. You're in a pretty nasty lock.
Yeah.
It could potentially tear a muscle, break your arm, whatever it could do. It could certainly cause a bit of damage. Are you going to hold that, or are you going to tap out, get out of it?
No.
So you can come back and fight another day.
Maclin was even saying that. Maclin was even saying that to Kazarian that I've got you. Basically, I've got a match at Rebellion. When Steve Maclin confronted Swann and Kazarian backstage, he's like, everyone's all about Josh Alexander. Well, don't forget, I've got a match at Rebellion. I've got, he's the guy that's got to be in prime condition, and that's exactly, I got no gripes about how the match ended. The match was just was unbelievable, and what I liked about it was you could see the dynamic between Kazarian and Swann versus Steve Maclin versus Time Machine on and off throughout the entire match too. So that they just put up with him being there because Maclin was forced into the match, and it was just all I can imagine. The only thing that's really bugging me is what if Josh Alexander was there, and what would it have been like if we saw the original intended match? It would have been, oh my god, it was just. I'm lost for words just thinking about what it could have been, but it didn't disappoint this match at all. It was just so good.
Yeah.
I think Sabin could sum it up even better.
I love this match!
If you look at Norbert in the chat there, what he's saying is, like, according to the storyline, it is the most devastating move. And of course, once you get locked in there, you don't want to lose your arm. So it makes complete sense. It makes complete sense. And I totally get it. I understand exactly why, he's like, fuck this, I'm tapping out, I'm getting out of here. And again, you got to remember, when it comes to that one-on-one versus Kushida, that's a completely different story.
Yeah.
But I think it's playing out really well. So yeah, like I say, the story is Maclin wants to be 100% for Rebellion. I totally agree, Bonkers. Definitely. Assist, but get out with the elbow or something before the Kia for 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I mean, you could be right, mate. You could be right.
Yeah.
And he's right. Maclin with 2 arms is better than a 1-arm man, in an ass-kicking contest. Exactly. You're totally right. What am I drinking? What's the Bison drinking? I am drinking, right, because I'm a bit, because I'm obviously I've still got a cold, guys. I am drinking apple and blackcurrant. There you go. My daughter's favorite cordial drink, apple and blackcurrant. So there you go, and it's delicious. I love it.
It is. It's nice.
And it keeps my throat nice and wet so I can keep talking to you guys. And that's the important thing, isn't it? Now, Joe, let's have a quick preview of Multiverse United, shall we?
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah, let's have a little look at it. Let's have a little look. Why not? Why not? So, obviously, we kick off with a countdown to Multiverse. That's going to kick off with Yuya Uemura versus Gabriel Kidd. Now, we haven't seen Gabriel Kidd for a while, but that's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, God, it's nice. I've been ages since I've heard the name, so it's going to be really, really interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I think it's going to be a really good one. I really do. Now, as far as I'm aware, that's the only match on the countdown. I have not seen anything else.
No.
So I'm gonna assume that every match after that is on the actual pay-per-view. So we then get Multiverse United commencing. We get an 8-man tag team action. One team will feature Callahan, PCO, Fred Rosser, Alex Coughlin, and then standing across the ring from them will be Digital Media Champion Joe Hendry, Eddie Edwards, Dirty Tom Lawler, go on, and Kratos. Now, I don't know Kratos or Kratos. I don't know that
Kratos.
guy. And I've seen Fred Rosser. Was it Kratos? Kratos?
Yeah.
What
Kratos. It's like
Kratos, okay.
like yeah, Kratos, like the guy from God of War.
Oh, okay, all right, that makes sense. I've seen Fred Rosser and I've seen Alex Coughlin as well. The only one I haven't seen is him. So I'm looking forward to checking out what that guy's all about. I think this is going to be an interesting matchup. This one, I was hoping it would be like a Team Impact versus Team New Japan, but either way, it doesn't matter. We've got 4 Impact talents and 4 New Japan talents on show, so I think that's going to be a good match.
I think that dynamic is better really for the casual viewer who doesn't know anything about either company. It's better to have 4 guys from 2 guys from each company on either side. But it just works better for the casual fan. And this whole thing is about being the multiverse coming together. So if you were to have a Team Impact versus Team New Japan Pro Wrestling, that would be more of a if it was an Impact versus New Japan Pro Wrestling pay-per-view like we have with Lucha Underground. Yeah, but the match itself, the talent on this card is amazing, and
it is. I think that match is going to be good. I think that match is going to be really good. Can I just say, Barry, I think I need a sponsorship from Lemsip, to be honest, right now.
Yeah.
I don't know about Apple and Raspberry, but definitely Lemsip sponsorship. Because I'm like spending a fortune. Every couple of days, I'm buying more Lemsip. Anyway, Excuse me a sec. There you go. The new Impact World Tag Team Champions, Ace Austin and Chris Bay of the Bullet Club, will defend their titles against 3 other teams. Former Impact World Tag Team Champions, of course, and current reigning New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Tag Team Champions, Motor City Machine Guns, Aussie Open, and TMDK will be vying for that gold. Again, geez. I mean, the amount of talent that's in the ring right there. I mean, it
That's
cannot
going to probably
fail.
steal the show. That is just
It just cannot fail, but to be a great match, right?
Yeah.
You know,
And so many people are sleeping on this because it's not WWE, it's not AEW. You know, this event is probably going to outdo. No disrespect to AEW or WWE because NXT do some fucking brilliant stuff, but I think this might outshine whatever they've got on the same night or around that time as well. But just with that match,
I think is it Ring of Honor? Is there a Ring of Honor thing going on?
Yeah, as a Ring of Honor event, NXT event, and then WrestleMania.
Yeah. Hang on, let me watch this. So, Tom Hannafan, I don't know. I think. Sorry,
Matthew
mate. Somebody just asking about commentary.
Yeah, I think Matthew Raywald's going to be on commentary, and because I know he usually does it for New Japan as well, or and probably Kevin Kelly. I think.
Who's the guy that does who? Kevin Kelly. I think it'll be Tom. It'll be Raywald and Kevin Kelly. I think it'd be three. Those 3. I think it'd be 3.
Yeah, it'd be good to see.
Basically, like you say, because Raywald does some of the New Japan stuff.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen Kevin Kelly. The last time I saw him was The Rock putting him down and saying, "But even you, Kevin Kelly, even you can beat Chris Benoit."
Definitely.
Such a long time.
Anyway, that's going to be a hell of a match. Exactly. I think it's going to be a hell of a match. So, the X Division title will be on the line as the champion Trey Miguel defends against former X Division champion Frankie Kazarian. Rich Swann entering the arena with New Japan Pro Wrestling guys, Kevin Knight, Clark Connors, and Rocky Romero.
Oh, no, God, this one could even be like match.
I love Rocky Romero.
Yeah,
I love Rocky Romero. That Kevin Knight is a badass. I don't know too much about Clark Connors, but Kevin Knight is a badass. Rocky Romero is damn good. We know Frankie and Rich Swann are awesome, so I think you could safely say that this is going to be a cracker as well, right?
Oh, this is going to be insane. You know, they're all amazing, high-flying athletes. They're going to be all over the place. This match is going to be so fast-paced, and I just don't know how anyone's going to keep up with each other because they're so. It's just going to be one that you blink and you'll miss like 6 or 7 different moves.
I know it's going to be mental. This is going to be mental. It's going to be so fast. I can't wait for this one. I think it's going to be really, really good. I'm sorry to hear you can't watch it, Courtney. I guess you're watching WrestleMania. Is that what she's saying? I don't know. I hate WrestleMania, but there you go. I'll watch the highlights. But I got no interest in WrestleMania really, apart from the highlights. The fact that The Rock's there intrigued me a little bit, but other than that, then at Sacrifice we learned that Mickie James had suffered an injury which prevented her from defending the Knockouts World title that night, and will do the same at Multiverse United. Instead, we've got Deonna Purrazo, Gisele Shaw, Mia Yamashita. I don't know how to say that, so I feel really bad. And Masha Slamovich will collide in a 4-way match where the winner will face Jordynne Grace at Rebellion for what would become the vacant Knockouts World title. However, if James is cleared to compete by then, the match will become a triple threat with James defending. Who will earn this golden opportunity? I have a feeling Deonna Purrazo. What do you think?
I am the f***ing greatest.
You are, my darling. You are.
That's who I think. I'm rooting for the Virtuosa all the way. No, just Gisele Shaw's got plenty of time to get a shot. Masha Slamovich has had 2 shots already against Jordynne Grace and then one against Mickie James. Deonna Purrazo is the most logical choice out of all 4 contenders, and the possibility of getting a 3-time champion versus a potential 3-time champion versus if Mickey James is there to compete to be the fourth, the potential 3-time champion versus a potential 3-time champion versus a 4-time champion. That's just amazing on paper. 5-time,
She's currently 5-time champion. Yeah, and I agree, Anna. I agree. We were talking about that earlier. None of that fucking interim bullshit. We don't want none of that shit.
Yeah, no. Oh God!
Hang on, what's this? The cock mic is saying, as you mentioned, WWE there, and Canada has been mentioned a lot today. Simple question here: was the Montreal screw job a work? Just answer yes or no. No.
No, it wasn't the work. No, Vincent McMahon screwed Bret Hart in that.
Exactly. Former Impact superstar The Rock. He appears once. Is enough to claim he is an Impact star. There you go. That's true. That is true. Anyway, so after his Impact World Title match versus John Sander was called off due to injury, Kushida needed a new opponent. Enter, of course, Leo Rush. While Kushida has his sights set on capturing the Impact World title when he battles Steve Maclin at Rebellion, Rush has all the tools to derail his momentum, obviously leading into that. I think you're right. I think Leo Rush is a hell of a talent. And
yeah.
We're in for a great match. Kushida, Leo Rush. I mean, that's going to be a good match. That's going to be a good match. Nothing really big to say about it, but it's going to be a big match. Hey, Zach.
Like
nice
two huge. They're two of the biggest names out there, and despite all of the issues that people have with Leo Rush, he is an incredible athlete. I watched all of his tag team matches against Ace Austin and Chris Bay in the New Japan tournament. He's so good in the ring. He's just got a huge chip on his shoulder. But this match with Kushida is going to be really good. And I can see Kushida winning and carrying the momentum forward as the hot favorite to beat Maclin at Rebellion. But either way, this is going to be so good. I'm glad that they didn't knock Kushida's match off the card and replace it with something else. It's good to see Kushida still get that big spotlight because he was one of the big draws for this whole event. So it's good to see Kushida still got his match. It's so, but it's good. And I'm just reading what Dragonstorm's question here.
Okay, so
Brian Cage's contract is running down. He seems unhappy with AEW. Well, Brian Cage has said he's been unhappy with AEW pretty much after about 3 months of getting into the company and all the shit with the fake belt he had. And then he went to Ring of Honor and he seems to be stuck there. So the way I see it, Brian Cage is probably going to be staying with Ring of Honor. I would love to see him back in Impact Wrestling, but I think Tony Khan's not going to let him go easily because he knows just how good Brian Cage is. He just doesn't know how to use him. And he's got at the moment, but Brian Cage is one of these guys I would love to see come back to Impact Wrestling if given the chance, rather than go elsewhere, because he was one of the best guys they had on the roster. It's just injury.
He is good. He's just not very good on a mic. That's his trouble. I don't think he's a very good promo guy.
He's one of these guys that isn't about promos. He's one of these guys that just gets in the ring and gets shit done. And he did that brilliantly. He took his matches against Michael Elgin, Johnny Impact, Rich Swann, Sammy Callahan. They were even the match he had with Tessa Blanchard, and he's had matches against Jordan Grace outside of Impact Wrestling. They were all really, really good. Really, really good matches. And now in Ring of Honor, he just seems to be in limbo.
I can't dispute that the guy is great in the ring. Unfortunately, 50% of this business is outside the ring, and that he's not so good at. So I'm not bothered either way. I think if he comes back and we get some good matches out of him, great. But I don't see him as a top of the card guy. I don't, and so he could come back and do some great matches. I don't know whether he's worth signing as such. Maybe another run of 6 months or something like that would be cool, but I don't see him as a roster guy personally. That's just me. We then get Jeff Cobb battles former Impact World Champion Moose. I think this is going to be what they class as a slobber knocker. So
two big
I think
horses, big horse fight. This one.
Yeah, this is going to be a big fight, Matt. It's going to be a big fight. So I'm looking forward to that. We've then got Kenta, I think, versus Suzuki. That I think will be pretty badass. So that's two New Japan guys going at it. I think that's going to be pretty cool. And we've got Mike Bailey. So we got here Mike Bailey's original opponent, of course, was Will Ospreay. But unfortunately, due to injury, he's not going to be able to compete. So instead of that, Bailey's now going to go one-on-one with New Japan Pro Wrestling legend Hiroshi Tanahashi in what can only be described as a dream match. After competing in Impact Wrestling during the early stage of his career, Tanahashi steps into the ring with Bailey for the first time ever, who has taken Impact Wrestling by storm, which is a nice write-up there. I mean, this is going to be a fantastic matchup. I think
this is a dream match coming true. Even for Mike Bailey was over the moon when this match was announced. He was gutted that Will Ospreay couldn't compete, but when he found out this is the guy he's going to be taking his place, he was like really quick to just say, "Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. Thank you." Yeah. And I'm really looking forward to seeing these two guys tear it up because they are both incredible talent.
Yeah, I agree. And anyone who's saying Joe Hendry for Impact World Champion, I could see that happening at some point down the line. They have to build him a bit more, but I don't see any reason why that can't be a thing. I actually see Joe Hendry becoming a Triple Crown winner. I think he's gonna win more than that. I think he can
I think if Joe Hendry's going to go for being world champion, he should go like the route Josh Alexander did, get the X Division title first, and then go from it there, just to build up more merit for himself. For those who doubt him, like what Brian Cage did, he had the choice. He was given the option to go for the world title, but he said, "Give me the X Division title first. Let me show the world, everyone, what I can do." And then Brian Cage just blew everybody's expectations away as X Division champion. Joe Hendry can do exactly the same and be a Triple Crown winner.
Yeah. He didn't blow me away, mate. No, he didn't blow everyone away. He didn't blow me away. But there you go. Now we've then got the digital media exclusive match for this week, it being Sheldon Jean versus El Reverso. Awesome. I like El Reverso. He's very good. And we've seen Sheldon Jean on Impact, and he's very good also. So it's good to see these guys get a little bit more Impact exposure. Have you seen it yet?
No, I've not. I've only got this whole thing set up last night about midnight, so I didn't get a chance to sit down and watch the digital media exclusive, and I was knackered over the weekend. I only managed to just about get through Sacrifice of them. So
oh really? No, I haven't seen it either, but I'm big fans of both of them, so I am going to try and get that one in because I think it's potentially I think it's a really good matchup there. Now we've got nothing advertised for BTI at the moment, not that I could see unless something's happened in the last hour or so since we've been on air.
No, it's all a huge, basically a big build up to the
multiverse show, isn't
the
it?
Multiverse. So
yeah,
there's no matches really scheduled. It's all going to
be. So we've got Impact Wrestling Live. Okay, now I'm assuming that it's the actual show. Impact Wrestling, the show, is going to go live tomorrow night. They've not really announced anything. However, they've got Josh Alexander versus Kenta on there, which is never seen before, which must be recorded. I believe that was recorded at the last set of taping. So interesting to see where that one goes. And it says all we got advertised, Mayu Yamashita makes her debut. So obviously she's going to be facing someone as well. Mir's saying that we've got Brian Myers versus Jack Price on BTI. Well, there you go. That must have only just been released. So that sounds pretty good, actually. Nice to see a bit more Jack Price. We don't see enough of Jack, so that's good. So not really much else other than the fact that obviously Impact Wrestling is going to be live tomorrow night. Now, I did pose the question, with it being live on Access TV, is it going to be live on YouTube for the international viewers? Now, obviously, I pay for my YouTube and I want to see Impact live. But nothing's been said. And of course, I have to get up in the morning to watch this. So it better be live when I wake myself up to go and watch it. That's all I'm saying. So looking forward to potentially that. So, but guys, I think that's just about all we got time for this week.
Yeah, I got these two are pestering me to go out.
Yeah, I can see. But don't forget to tune in to the TNI Impact review show tomorrow night, live on YouTube and Twitch directly after Impact is aired on Access TV, Fight Network in Canada, Impact Plus, YouTube Inside, and of course, DAZN. Now, I'm assuming that the boys are doing something with regards to Multiverse United, but I don't know. So please don't quote me if they don't. But anyway, good luck with that. Please don't forget to head over to the TNI Patreon for exclusive extra content when you sign up. And of course, join our Discord where we pretty much talk about anything Impact related or wrestling related, as well as movies and other sports, etc. We even talk about WWE, but don't tell anybody. All TNI shows are available to all you listen on the Go fans. There's audio only via SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to your favorite shows. We are there. Where can we find you on the socials, Joe?
You can find me on Twitter at JKEmptySpace. You can jump onto Facebook or Twitter, look for #EmptySpace, #Into the Void, or if you fancy to tickle your taste buds and your sense of humor, #Daily Giggle. An open approach with an open mind, and you just might keep your sanity.
Okay. And if you want to find out a little bit more on the Bison, you could catch me over on the Twitter sphere at Lord Bison 45. Please come and give me a follow. I'm getting very, very close to 2,000 now. So just give us a follow. And it'd be great to hit that 2,000 mark ASAP. And of course, don't forget to also follow Total Nonstop Impact on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube.
Yeah.
At We Talk Impact. Don't forget to do that. That's very important, guys. And we, of course, then you don't get to miss out of any of the great stuff. So please take the time to help us out by moving up the rankings on YouTube, by giving us a thumbs up. Remember, give us 2 thumbs up if you could. That would be great. But anyway, don't forget to do that. Hit that thumbs up button right now while we're talking. And if you're new to us, you like what you see, then please consider hitting that subscribe button, and don't forget to give the bell a tickle, a squeeze, or of course a smash to never miss any of the great content coming out from the UK and US teams each and every single week. Now, guys, with that said, I of course have been Bison, and he has been coming to you from the void, the Joker, and this has been episode 126 of Impacted. Take care, everyone.
God, didn't get the story.
You're a nightmare. You are a nightmare.
Right, let's try that again. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Take care.
We're Bison! We are Impacted!